Alex was $65 short. That was it. $65, one bill, one rough month. He told himself he'd cover it next paycheck. And about 2 weeks later, he did. Paid in full, done. He forgot about it like it was over. Then, months later, he sat across from a leasing office, waiting for approval on an apartment he already imagined himself living in. The woman looked at the screen. Her face changed. Denied. The bill was paid. But the mistake was still following him. Here's what makes this trap so quiet. When Alex paid that bill late, the first thing he felt was a small punishment. A late fee, $25, $35, whatever it was, annoying. He paid it and moved on, and that fee tricked him because it felt like the whole price. It felt like he'd been caught, charged, and cleared. Case closed. The late fee was annoying. The credit mark was the trap. A late fee lands right away. You feel it, you pay it, it's over. But a reported late payment works on a completely different clock. It doesn't sting today. It sits. It waits until the exact moment you need someone to trust you with money, and then it speaks for you. Now, an important detail, and this is where people get it wrong. Being a day late or even a week late is usually not the thing that reaches your credit report. Most lenders don't report a missed payment to the credit bureaus until it's around 30 days past due. That's why the fee and the credit mark are two different animals. If Alex had scraped that $65 together before the 30-day line, there's a good chance it never would have touched his credit report at all. This part can depend on the lender and the type of account, so it varies. But that 30-day window is often the difference between a bad week and a bad year. Alex didn't know that line existed, so he drifted past it. And once a late payment gets reported, here's the part that catches people off guard. Paying it later does not erase it. Alex assumed that clearing the balance wiped the slate clean. It doesn't work like that. A late payment, once it's on your report, can stay there for up to 7 years. Paid or not, the account can show that it's paid, which is better than showing it unpaid. But the late mark itself can linger for years after the money is handled. Read that again in your head. He paid the bill, and the record of being late outlived the debt by years. This is why the credit score is such a strange kind of judge. You never see it working. It's invisible, right up until someone else pulls it up to decide something about your life. A landlord, a car dealership, a credit card company, a phone carrier, an insurance quote. They see a number and a history, and they make a call about you in about 10 seconds, based on a story you can't stand up and explain. And payment history, whether you've paid your past bills on time, is the single biggest piece most credit scores are built on. It matters more than almost anything else on there. So, a missed payment isn't hitting some small side category. It's landing on the most important part. Think about where that shows up in a real life. Alex finds an apartment he actually likes, fills out the application, waits, and the answer comes back. Denied. Or we can approve you, but we'll need a bigger deposit. Suddenly, the place that fit his budget needs an extra month up front that he doesn't have. Or it's a car. He needs one to get to work. This isn't a luxury, it's survival. He gets approved, which feels like a win until he looks at the interest rate. It's high, much higher than his coworker got. Same car, same paperwork, wildly different price, stretched over years. He'll pay for that one short month over and over quietly, every single month, long after he's forgotten why. That's the cruelty of it. The consequence doesn't arrive when you make the mistake. It arrives when you're trying to move forward. And here's the reason so many people underestimate all of this. Alex keeps telling himself a story. I was only late once. I paid it. It wasn't even that much money. Every one of those things is true. And none of them matter to the system. The credit report does not know why you were late. It only knows that you were. It doesn't record that your hours got cut. It doesn't record the emergency, the car repair, the sick kid, the check that came 3 days late. It records an event, not a reason. To Alex, it was a story with context and bad luck. To the report, it's just a data point sitting in a row. Now comes the part that quietly does the most damage. Not the payment, the shame. Alex sees the denial. He feels stupid, embarrassed, and so he does the most human thing in the world. He looks away. He stops opening the mail. He stops checking the app because the number makes him feel sick. He avoids applying for things because he's scared of hearing no again. He decides he'll deal with it later when he feels stronger. But avoiding it is exactly how one late payment becomes the least of your problems. While he's not looking, a second bill gets tight. Then a third. The thing he could have managed when it was small grows in the dark because looking at it hurts. The shame doesn't protect him. It just buys the problem more time to spread. If that's you right now, hear this plainly. Being behind is not a character flaw. It's a situation. And situations can be worked, but only if you're willing to look at them. And this is the exact moment the next trap goes hunting for people. Desperation. When Alex finally gets scared enough to act, he types something like, "remove late payment," fast into his phone, and an entire industry is waiting for him. Ads. Promises. We'll wipe your credit clean. Guaranteed results. Fix your score in days. Here's the truth, and it comes straight from consumer protection regulators. No one can legally remove accurate current negative information from your credit report. If the late payment really happened and it was reported correctly, no company, no service, no secret letter can just make it vanish because you paid them to. Anything a legitimate service can do, you're allowed to do yourself for free. What can be fixed are mistakes. If something on your report is actually wrong, a payment you made on time but got marked late, an account that isn't yours, you have the right to dispute it directly with the credit bureau, and it costs you nothing. That's real. That's your right. But watch the warning signs of a scam. Anyone who demands money up front, tells you not to contact the bureaus yourself, tells you to dispute information you know is true, or tells you to lie on an application, that's not help. Some of that is a crime, and it can leave you far worse off than one late payment ever would. Real rebuilding isn't a trick. It's boring, and it's honest, and it works. Time, plus a stack of on-time payments piling up behind the mistake. So let's talk about what actually helps. Starting before a payment ever goes late, because that's where the cheapest save is. The move is almost embarrassingly simple. Don't disappear. If you can see a bill coming that you can't fully cover, contact the company before the due date, not after. Ask what your options are. Ask about hardship programs or payment arrangements. Plenty of lenders have them, and they can't offer you something you never asked for. Know your real due dates instead of guessing. Set reminders that actually get your attention. Use autopay where it makes sense, but keep an eye on it so it doesn't overdraw you into a different mess. And if money's tight and you can't pay everything, understand that some bills can hit your credit and some usually can't. That knowledge helps you choose what to protect first. When you do talk to a lender, keep a note of who you spoke to and what they said. None of that is fancy. All of it beats silence. Now, what if the damage already happened? What if Alex is reading this after the denial? Start by actually looking. Pull your credit reports. You're entitled to free copies from all 3 major bureaus every week at the official site, annualcreditreport.com. Not the ones singing at you from an ad. Read them. Check that every late mark is real and correctly dated. If something's wrong, dispute it. If it's right, don't waste your energy pretending it isn't. Put that energy into the only thing that actually moves the needle. Paying what's due on time from here forward. Every on-time month you stack up is quietly arguing on your behalf. And the good news buried in all of this is that the pain fades. A late payment hits hardest when it's fresh. As months of on-time history build up on top of it, lenders tend to weigh it less and less. It doesn't own you forever. One quick, honest note. This is general information to help you understand how this stuff works. It isn't personal financial, legal, or credit advice, and your exact situation can depend on your lender, your account, and your state. When it's your money on the line, it's worth checking your own details. So, here's where Alex actually is. He thought the missed payment was over the day he paid the bill. He was wrong about the timing, not the money. The $65 was never really the cost. The cost was everything that came after, when he needed a yes and got a no. One missed payment may start as a bill, but if you ignore it long enough, it can become a shadow, following you into the next apartment, the next car, the next approval, and the next version of the life you were trying to build. Don't let a bad month write the next few years for you. Look at it. It's smaller than the fear of it.